Welcome back to Breastfeeding Nurtured with a new tagline, First Step to Lifelong Health. Today, in session 11, Breastfeeding Strategies for Working Women, we will explore practical ways to ensure that babies continue to receive their mother's own milk even when she is away. While direct breastfeeding remains the best and most natural way to feed a baby, we will focus on strategies that support direct suckling wherever possible and help minimize or avoid the use of feeding bottles. This session builds upon what we covered earlier in session 9, breastfeeding, expressing and storing breast milk, where we discussed the importance of expressing milk, safe storage practices, and how the expressed milk can be given to the baby by a caretaker in the mother's absence. Before we dive into the first slide, don't forget to subscribe to my channel by simply scanning the QR code. Stay informed with the latest breastfeeding best practices. Don't miss out. Join us today. Let's get started with our first slide. For many mothers, returning to work is not a choice but a necessity, and in such situations, it becomes vital to find a balance where both the baby's nutritional needs and the family's financial needs are met without either having to suffer. Today, we will be exploring the various ways working mothers can continue to provide their own breast milk to the babies, whether through direct breastfeeding, expressing and storing milk, or creating supportive environment. Before we walk through these approaches one by one, to understand how we can support and empower lactating mothers in balancing work and breastfeeding, let me share with you that even for working mothers, direct breastfeeding remains the gold standard when feasible. To make direct breastfeeding possible, a working mother can explore the options best suited to her individual circumstances as discussed further. Encourage the mother to feed the baby just before leaving and again immediately on returning home. This simple routine helps maintain closeness and milk production. Frequent night and weekend feeding make up for daytime separation, keeping milk supply steady and strengthening the emotional bond. Take baby along to work if permitted, and facilities like crèche exist so that the mother can breastfeed during breaks. Baby can be brought to the workplace by a family member or caregiver at designated times, making it possible to maintain direct breastfeeding even while on duty. This is only possible when the workplace is at a walking distance. Mothers should be encouraged to use the full maternity leave to establish robust breastfeeding habits. Where possible, lactating mothers should opt for flexible arrangements, part-time return, unpaid leave, or remote work during the baby's early months. Nothing is more important than the nutrition of the baby during the initial period. For some mothers, flexible working hours are the most effective solution. Workplaces may allow late start, early end, or split shifts, helping mothers fit in with more direct feeds. In private vehicles with a helper or on culturally appropriate public transport, some mothers may manage mid-journey feeds, offering another practical window for direct contact. When direct breastfeeding isn't possible during working hours, mother can still nourish their babies with their own milk by expressing and safely storing it, ensuring the baby continues to receive the full benefits of breast milk. When the mother cannot breastfeed directly, expressed milk bridges the gap without compromising the baby's nutrition. Express breast milk at work in a private, clean space, ideally a designated lactation room using either manual expression or a breast pump. Expressed breast milk should be stored safely in sterile, clearly labeled containers. If a refrigerator is not available, use an insulated cooler bag with ice packs to keep the milk safe until it can be fed to the baby. Caregivers should avoid bottles when feeding express breast milk and instead use methods like cup, katori spoon, palade, or dropper to prevent nipple confusion and reduce the risk of infections, especially in the early months. A few weeks before returning to work, mothers should build a small stock of milk for smooth transition. We have already covered the topic of storing breast milk at home. Kindly refer to session 9. Successful breastfeeding for working mothers isn't just a personal effort. It requires planning, caregiver involvement, and supportive environments both at home and in the workplace. For breastfeeding success of working mothers, systems and support matter immensely. Antenatal counseling helps mother plan feeding in advance. They can discuss how to transition back to work without weaning early. Involvement of the caregiver early as they need to learn cup feeding and safe handling of breast milk well before the mother returns to work. Advocate for breastfeeding friendly workplace which include dedicated lactation rooms, paid nursing breaks, and a culture that supports breastfeeding at work. As more and more women are joining the workforce and working away from home, it becomes essential to address how they can continue breastfeeding successfully. Recognizing the unique challenges faced by working mothers, I have dedicated this session specifically to explore practical strategies that support them in providing their own milk to their babies, even when they are apart. This topic is both timely and important, and I hope it empowers working women with the knowledge and confidence to continue breastfeeding with pride and success. By the conclusion of this session, we will be equipped to confidently guide working mothers on how they can successfully continue breastfeeding despite being away from their babies during work hours. We will learn effective strategies to help mothers maximize the amount of breast milk their infants receive even in their absence. Additionally, we will observe the and understand the correct technique of cup feeding to ensure safe and appropriate feeding practices for the baby when the mother is not present. Now that we have discussed how working mothers can continue breastfeeding, let's simplify it further through frequently asked questions. These FAQs are designed to address common concerns and challenges faced by working mothers who wish to continue breastfeeding. They provide a concise review of key points we have already discussed. Let's begin with the first FAQ. Can I breastfeed if I return to work? Yes, many working mothers successfully continue breastfeeding. With some planning and support, you can ensure your baby still receives the benefits of your milk even after you resume work. What if I can take my baby to work? If possible, take your baby with you or use a nearby crèche. Direct breastfeeding during work hours is ideal and helps maintain your milk supply. My workplace is close to home. How can I manage breastfeeding? You may be able to go home during feeding breaks or have someone bring your baby to you at work to breastfeed. This allows for direct feeding and strengthens bonding. What if I work far from home? You can still support breastfeeding by planning ahead. Begin by exclusively breastfeeding during your entire maternity leave. This helps establish a strong milk supply and gives your baby a healthy start. Should I introduce bottles early if I plan to return to work? No. There's no need to start bottle feeding right away. Delaying the introduction of any other feeds helps maintain exclusive breastfeeding. Babies, even newborns, can learn to drink from a cup or spoon. When should I start training my baby for cup feeding? Start about a week before returning to work. This gives your baby time to adjust to cup feeding and allows you to guide the caregiver who will be feeding your baby in your absence. Can I continue breastfeeding outside of work hours? Absolutely. Feed your baby in the early morning, evening, and at night. This not only maintains your milk supply but also ensures your baby continues to get the benefits of breast milk. Is it true that babies can adjust their feeding patterns when mother works? Yes, many babies naturally begin to feed more during the night when their mothers are available and may feed less during the day. Let's continue with more practical concern commonly faced by working mothers on their breastfeeding journey. Should I learn to express milk? Yes. Start practicing soon after birth. Learning to express breast milk early makes it easier and more effective later when you need to express during work hours. How can I prepare breast milk for my baby before going to work? Express your breast milk in a calm, unhurried environment before leaving for work. Waking up 30 minutes early can help ensure a relaxed session and better milk flow. How much breast milk should I leave for my baby? Try to leave about 100 ml, that is half a cup, for each feed your baby will need while you are away. Some mothers can express 400 to 500 ml after feeding their baby, but even 100 to 200 ml spread across multiple feeds is beneficial. What's the best way to store expressed breast milk at home? Use a clean covered container and place it in the coolest part of your home, preferably in a refrigerator. If a fridge isn't available, a shaded cool spot can still keep the milk safe for up to 8 hours even in warm climates. Should I heat breast milk before giving it to my baby? It's a clear no. Do not boil or reheat expressed breast milk. Heating can destroy important anti-infective properties. The milk can be given at room temperature. Can I breastfeed my baby after expressing milk? Yes. After expressing, breastfeed your baby if possible. Direct suckling helps your baby assess hind milk and supports ongoing milk production. What if I need to supplement with cow's milk? Now, World Health Organization advises against giving cow's milk to infants under 6 months and discourages its use before 12 months, except when no other option is available. How do I prepare formula safely while I am away? Measure the formula powder and water separately into clean container. Teach the caregiver to mix them only at the time of feeding, as prepared formula spoils quickly. To conclude, here are a few final but equally important questions that address special situations and solutions for breastfeeding mothers at work. How do I teach my baby's caregiver to feed properly? Train the caregiver to use a cup, not a bottle. Bottles can interfere with breastfeeding. Also guide them to give a full feed at one time and avoid offering small amounts repeatedly. Discourage pacifier use. Soothing should be done by holding, rocking, or other methods instead of using a pacifier. How often should I express milk during work hours? Aim to express every 3 hours, 2 to 3 times during a typical workday. This helps maintain milk supply, prevents engorgement, and reduces leakage. What should I do with the milk expressed at work? Store it in a clean covered container. If a refrigerator is available, keep it there and bring it home for the next day. If you cannot keep the milk cold, discard it. But remember, regular expression keeps your supply steady. Is it okay to lose a feed if a milk cannot be saved during work? Yes, even if you cannot keep the milk, the act of expressing still benefits you and your baby by maintaining milk production. Your body will continue to make more. Before concluding, let's understand the types of milk suitable for infants in situation where breastfeeding is not possible and donor human milk is not available. This is an important aspect every working mother should be aware of, especially since all milks are not safe during infancy. While exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months remains the gold standard, work-related challenges or other constraints may make continued breastfeeding difficult. In such cases, the World Health Organization advises that infants aged 6 to 11 months who are not breast may be given infant formula or animal milk with the rider when no other option is available. However, this guidance is conditional and based on low certainty evidence, which emphasizes the importance of ensuring hygiene, proper preparation, and nutritional adequacy when choosing alternatives to breast milk. It's important to note that if other options are available, animal milk is not to be used before 12 months. To elaborate further, dairy products including liquid animal milks are part of a diverse diet and contribute to nutritional adequacy. They are particularly important for non-breastfed children when other animal source foods are not available. If infants 6 to 11 months of age are fed animal milks, full fat milk should be used. Flavored or sweetened milk should not be used because sweetened milks include added sugars and they are not appropriate for infants and young children from 6 months to 23 months of age. Safe storage and handling practices of animal milks should be followed. Types of animal milks that could be used include pasteurized animal milk, reconstituted evaporated but not condensed milk, fermented milk, or yogurt. That concludes session 11 on breastfeeding strategies for working women, where we discussed continued exclusive breastfeeding by working mothers up to 6 months, maximizing breast milk intake for babies during the mother's absence, and guiding caregivers on cup feeding. In the upcoming session 12 titled Breastfeeding, Increasing, Sustaining and Relactation, we will discuss ways to boost milk supply, maintain lactation over time and restart breastfeeding when it has been interrupted. We encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts, questions and suggestions for future topics to help us better support your learning journey. Feel free to reach out via email at rajinder_gulati@hotmail.com. Your feedback is invaluable as we strive to create an informative, helpful content. Thank you for joining us and we look forward to continuing this journey together. Have a wonderful day.